Kasi ang akin po, and I've tried all my life to be a citizen, and Alan knows I was a good daughter following our father's rules. Pag sinabing, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yan, wala kang karapatan na gawin yan, hindi ko gagawin yon. At kung ginawa ko yon, babawiin ko. Kasi nga sinabi sa akin na wala akong karapatan na gawin yon. So, yun ho ang iniintindi ko. I am one of 5, tama bang bilang ko, 5 lawyers here in the Senate. And I'm trying to do my job as a senator and as a lawyer. I am trying to listen carefully to our colleagues who have expressed their desire to constitute ourselves as an impeachment court. But I do not know how we can legally do that when the Supreme Court tells us we did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute ourselves into an impeachment court. We did not acquire it then, and we do not acquire it now. So how would we do that? And those of you who've worked with me know how hard I work to find a solution. I bend over backwards, I listen, I redraft everything para masaya tayong lahat. And of course, within the bounds of the law. How do we do that? How?
Mr. President, I think the good senator already provided the answer. By using the Senate's residual power, kung titignan po niyo yung definition ng residual power, hindi po talaga nakasulat yung power per se. Ngunit inherent sa opisina yun, kaya tinawag pong residual power. Nung sabihin po ng Korte Suprema, this is immediately executory, wala pong ibang departamento, walang ibang opisina ang tinitingnan niya kung di tayo lamang. Kung hindi tayo gagalaw, wala pong iba na gagalaw. At mananatili pong nakahang ang isyong ito, Mr. President.
So, yun yung first point, Mr. President, that I wanted to raise, and thank you for your response, Senator from Tarlac. And then with respect to the second phrase that I wanted to dive into, immediately executory. So sinabi to dun sa desisyon, and then I think the Senate President mentioned it also, that in their press briefing just yesterday, the Supreme Court stated that, to recall, on July 25, 2025, the Supreme Court granted the petition to dismiss the 4th impeachment complaint against Vice President Duterte. In a 13-02 decision with the justices present voting unanimously, and Associate Alfred Benjamin Kagiwa inhibiting, and Associate Justice Maria Filomena Singh on leave, the Supreme Court en banc ruled that the impeachment complaint was void for violating the 1-year ban and due process requirements. This decision is immediately executory. Inulit pa nila sa press briefing nila. So sa akin lang po, parang nahihirapan ako as a lawyer and a lawyer in the Senate to say that they did not intend it to be immediately executory, because they said this knowing that there already was a motion for recon, and knowing that we are going to have this discussion today because we made this date public, that on this day we will have this discussion. So again, I'm trying hard to see how, other than disposing of the case using our residual powers following the instructions of the Supreme Court, we can further debate this issue. That is my dilemma, dear colleagues, Mr. President.
May I offer an answer, Mr. President?
Of course.
Pasensya na po kayo kung gagamit po ako ng paghahalimbawa. Nung pong kayo po ay medyo bata-bata po, Madam Senator, meron pong lumigaw sigurado sa inyo. Yung
Wag
unang
na
lumigaw
natin
sa inyo
pasukin
talagang...
yung diskusyon na yon. Hahaba ho ito, mas mahaba po sa debate ng impeachment.
Ganito po yun eh. Tinapat nyo talaga. Ayaw nyo magtagal pa yun eh. At tama naman po yung ginawa ninyo. Ipinakita nyo sa kanya, pinaramdam nyo sa kanya, talagang wala siyang maasahan kaysa mapagod pa siya.
Sino ho
Pero
yun?
ang sabi niya sa inyo, ang sabi po niya sa inyo, pwede bang ako'y kahit papano'y dadalaw-dalaw pa rin? Parang nag-MR. Nasa sayo yun, but that will not change my mind. Ganun din po yun eh. Ang Korte Suprema, sa ganitong, Mr. President, the very tenor of the decision, kahit na po sinabi niyang Oh, sige, nasa sayo. Formality na lamang po yun, Mr. President. You are a trial lawyer too. Most of us here became trial lawyers. This is our experience. Huwag po nating pahirapan yun. Sana man lang kung ang decision po 8-7. Yun po pwede nating pagtalunan po eh. Wala po talaga eh, Mr. President.
If I may, Mr. President, and I think that was a good analogy. Thank you for that. Napaisip niyo ho ako doon. I think what's interesting with His Honor's analogy is there are people, there's the public, I don't know, millions of people would like to understand ano ba yung final na kasong yon, may evidence ba? And totoo yan, di ba? Hindi natin matatanggal yon. So in the same way, yung manliligaw na walang pag-asa, gusto din niyang malaman na ano ba yung chances, ano ba yung nangyari, bakit ba meron kang ganitong conclusion, can I convince you otherwise? I think that's what His Honor is trying to say. And I think the public really want to know. Let the record show na tawang-tawa po si Senator Bato sa likod. But we really want to know, sino ba namang may ayaw malaman kung merong isang public official na naakusahan ng katiwalian? Lahat po tayo interesado doon eh, whether mahal mo yung taong yon, whether galit ka sa taong yon, you want to know the truth. Kasi kung naniniwala ka na innocent yung taong yon, gusto mong mapatunayan niya na innocent siya. At kung galit ka sa taong yon, gusto mong mapatunayan na guilty siya, hindi ho ba? But meron tayong kinikilalang Supreme Court na nagsasabing hindi nga dumaan sa tamang proseso. So kumbaga siguro sa example nyo, baka hindi dumaan sa tatay ko, hindi nagpaalam ng maayos. Di wala naman akong choice, kundi sabihin na wala kang pag-asa. Baka naman may pag-asa, pero I have to follow the rules of my father's house na hindi dumaan sa tamang proseso. So doon ho tayo babalik, and as a lawyer, I have to say this na yun nga, we are governed by laws. And in as much as gusto ko rin malaman, bothered ho ako sa mga gantong akusasyon. The other day, our colleagues, merong privileged speech tungkol sa kalokohan dun sa paggagawa ng mga flood control. Gusto natin malaman, di ba? Ngayon, pagka yun na-discuss sa sa media, okay na, media siya. Pero walang papupuntahan yun kasi it should go to the proper process. May process yan sa halls of the Senate. We have hearings in aid of legislation, and then magre-recommend tayo na ma-ombudsman yan. So may proseso tayo. So yun ho siguro yung pinapatunguhan. Doon ho papunta ang aking conclusion na in as much as the public deserves to know, because we all deserve to know, we also have to follow the process. And I share this with everyone kasi ang hirap lang talaga ng sitwasyon natin kung hindi tayo makikinig sa Supreme Court. Meron tayo in the Senate, Congress, we have our duties as co-equal bodies. Ang duties po namin kasama ang pagsiyasat ng budget ng lahat ng agency. So pati Supreme Court, budget niya, tinitingnan. Lahat ng Regional Trial Court, tinitingnan natin ang budget. That's our job as a co-equal. Sila naman, may job din sila na pagka may grave abuse of discretion, they have to also say it. They also have to make their position known, which they have. And I will repeat, ang sabi ng desisyon ng Korte Suprema, the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction, and this decision is immediately executory. So, I'm happy to listen. I don't know kung may magsasalita pa, pero I shared my views on this in the hope na marinig ko din yung views ng proponent. Nakikinig po ako sa mga kasamahan natin para ma-enlighten din po ako. But I'm guided also by my practice as a lawyer and my duty as a lawyer to also, I can disagree with the court. Wala tayong problema doon. We know that we have that personal right to disagree with the court, but we also have to in the end, follow the court's orders, whether we agree with them or not.
Very quickly,
Thank you, Mr. President.
With the permission of Senators Marcoleta and...
What is the pleasure of Senator Pangilinan?
Just a quick interjection.
The gentleman may proceed.
Maybe to add to either the enlightenment or additional bewilderment of Senator Pia Cayetano. Yes, the Supreme Court ruled that we did not have jurisdiction. Yes, the Supreme Court ruled that it is immediately executory, but it makes you wonder why the Supreme Court did not issue a writ of injunction. So
Did not, sorry, I didn't hear that. It makes
did
you
not
wonder
issue-
why.
Did not enjoin us, did not issue a writ. It could have, but it did not. So, yeah, your guess is as good as mine, because if they really wanted us to end this, then why didn't they enjoin us?
Just to add to the bewilderment and the enlightenment, what is there to enjoin when we never acquired jurisdiction according to them? What is the pleasure of the Honorable Ontiveros?
Thank you, Mr. President. Dalawang dagdag na punto lang para sa diskusyon natin. Precisely regarding the immediately executory na kababanggit lang ni Senator Pangilinan at inulit din kanina ng good gentleman from Tarlac at pati ng good gentlewoman from Taguig Pateros, immediately executory. Still, Mr. President, there is no defiance here dahil the ruling, hindi pa rin po final siya. And even if the ruling states that it is immediately executory, at kahit inulit po yon dun sa recent na anunsyo ng Korte Suprema tungkol sa MR, even if the ruling states that it is immediately executory, the court itself in many cases has explained that this does not mean self-executory. Immediately executory does not mean self-executory. Section 1, at ito taugnay ng kasasabi ni Senator Pangilinan, Section 1, Rule 39 of the 2019 Rules of Court states that execution shall issue as a matter of right on motion. This means that a writ of execution issued upon a motion is necessary for the execution of a decision. At this point, Mr. President, wala pa pong iniuutos ang Korte Suprema sa Senado. And secondly, at this point, Mr. President, bukod pa po kasi sa yung first group of complainants, yung House of Representatives mismo sa pamamagitan ng Solicitor General at yung isang bayan, meron pang isang importanteng entity, institusyon sa ating lipunan na nagsalita tungkol doon sa Supreme Court ruling. At ito po ay isang entity sa mass media, ang ABS-CBN. Meron po silang anunsyo, ABS-CBN news statement on articles cited in the Supreme Court decision on Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment. At gusto ko lang i-make of record dito, Mr. President. Sabi nila, ABS-CBN News respectfully clarifies that the article cited in the Supreme Court decision on the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte did not state that the House of Representatives transmitted the articles of impeachment to the Senate without a plenary vote. The ABS-CBN statement, Mr. President, calls into question the factual premises of the SC decision. Isa po ito sa binabanggit na numerous factual errors. If the very factual premises were wrong, the legal conclusion cannot be relied upon. With due respect, salamat po, Mr. President.